Yo, what's good guys, but I'm Fire here back from a video, and today we're going to be hopping into the gun cluster formation. This is in the Arizona Cardinals playbook, and it is only in that playbook, super exclusive formation. Now, the first thing that we actually went ahead and did is go to the 4 wide receiver package in your bottom left corner. Just gives you more speed on the field. It puts a guy like Rondale Moore in that spot that you normally see someone like Zach Ertz. Of course, if you have like a Kyle Pitts, an Ultimate Team, Jared Cook, some of those 95 speed guys, you can definitely leave your tight end there, but there's not really a reason because you can't block your player out of that spot anyway, so why not get more speed? I understand if you don't have 4 good receivers though. So that's the first thing, but overall this offense has a ton of good plays. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you want to see a gameplay, because I do like running this formation a lot. It was one of my go-to formations. I think it was Madden 20 that this formation came out, either Madden 20 or 21. I think it was Madden 20 when this formation came out, and it was pretty good. But some of the good plays in it are going to be mesh on that left side. You have 518 hook here on the right side. You have cluster bunch, Z-spot, Z-spot shake. Some of our audibles are mesh post, outside zone verticals, and Z-spot shake. Additionally, I'm going to show you guys the Z-spot play. But again, we'll go over every single play if you guys do want to see a gameplay on it. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Alright, so here we are out on the field, and taking a look at a formation, we're going to kind of set up a lot of things similar to bunch. It looks very similar to bunch. The big difference is that, of course, we're not in a bunch set. You notice that we have these 2 players off the ball instead of your outside receiver and your tight end. We now have this slot receiver off the ball and this inside receiver off the ball. So a little bit of different looks there, but kind of the same stuff. So what we're actually going to go ahead and do for this particular play that I like is, first things first, we're just going to streak B, and we're just going to smart out X. Or actually X, I don't think he's better as a smart out, but I want you to take a look at James Conner's route. He's on a really good route. Take a look at James Conner. He's going to run an out route and then a zig. Just such a good route. I cannot stress how good this will be against man coverage. One of the reasons that I just decided to show you guys this Z spot play. James Conner's route is super good. Now, you can't do anything like smart routing it, which would be pretty overpowered if you could, but overall, it's really good. I'll show it again. This is just cover 3, but against man coverage, he toasts, and James Conner's not even really a good route runner. He doesn't really have that much speed either, but trust me, if you get a really good running back there, he can absolutely fry against really any coverage. Going back to our other combinations on this side, you can roll out, throw it over the top to Christian Kirk right there. You have your check down as well to Rondale Moore. Some things that I like to do is potentially go with like a little zig route instead. And you notice I generally will smart route my corner out. It's a little bit too short to not do it. So here you see Rondale Moore on his zig. I'm not sure why he didn't really run it there. Usually they will run their zig route more than that. Again, I don't know the reasoning behind that, but it was just not exaggerated. And then of course your last read with this particular play is going to be that S post with AJ Green. So what you can do, what I've actually done sometimes with this is motion over the streak. I generally don't like to motion over the streak in here because it just takes forever to really run up the field, but it can be decent to open them up a little bit. Really, the other routes should do the job, the running back zig as well as like your other zig with what's his face, but yeah, a lot of times I kind of get stuck here because I don't really necessarily like streaking Hopkins and having this S post in the same area, but then again, it's kind of like, what do I do with Hopkins in this case? I mean, you could go with like a little hitch or just an out route, something like this. Could work, but a lot of times it's just the spacing can be a little bit tricky with this formation. It's something to keep an eye on, which is why I think you guys seeing a gameplay of it would definitely help. But that's the Z-spot play. Let's move into our next play, which I'm going to go to the mesh post. And I don't have a whole lot of setups for these, but I do have a couple of really nice setups with a lot of reads on these. So with this mesh post setup, my favorite setup is to hitch your X wide receiver in flat A. This is more of a zone beater for sure. Less man beating routes, but what you're going to do with this, take a look at Christian Kirk's route. He's on that nice little wheel route. Do not sleep on that route. What we're going to do, motion out Rondale Moore, snap him right about there, and look at Christian Kirk get wide open against just a normal cover 3 defense. Really, he'll get open against every coverage ultimately with this. Something else that you potentially could do with this is maybe go with a combo like this. Now, talking about James Conner and AJ Green over here, but this definitely could work as well. So you kind of get that option to throw wheel routes on both sides, which might actually be better for you. Really just comes down to personal preference at that point. Which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments section. Do you like the little hitch combination? Or do you like the wheel with flat? I'm assuming most of you guys are going to say wheel and flats just because of how good they are. But also with this play, look at how much space you have with Rondale Moore. If they're playing off coverage, it's an easy read, and you're going to force them to really flat over there or do something, which again, they might be just trying to play over the top. But again, here you see Christian Kirk's route, which cuts up the field beautifully. You don't even have to low ball it. You can bullet past that. You have enough space to catch that and run up the field. So really, really solid play there. I'll show it one more time, and then we'll hop into another setup with this play. But here we're going to try and fit in Hopkins. Now, Hopkins really is just there for distraction. I'm not sure why he got bumped so crazily there, but he's really there for distraction. We're not necessarily trying to throw it to Hopkins, but he does a phenomenal job at holding up almost 2 hook curls there. So if you're able to throw it to him, that's fine, but it's not really his job in this play setup. Another setup you can go to, just kind of more of a traditional type setup, is maybe you just go ahead, slant A. You could go ahead, what would you want to do with this? Slant A, maybe you streak X. I'm not sure what the setup would be with this play. Maybe you, actually, let's go with a flat A, hitch X, slant RB, and then we motion one of these guys over. So we have a nice little hitch, post, slant, flat with 2 flats, but this would be a nice spacing concept. Of course, the slant post combination is not as popular this year, which is why this is the second setup, but it can be good. And of course, we can run these guys vice versa if you do choose to. So we can actually motion over Rondale Moore if you didn't know, which is something that you can't really do out of that gun bunch formation. So here you can roll out, throw it to whoever you want. Could have easily thrown that to the slant, but we'll just take our flat here. So that is going to be our mesh post play. Moving into our next play, we got to run. You could run counter or outside zone. I'll just generally run this sweep because it has a higher big play potential, as you see right there. It's going to be a passing formation, let's be honest here. You're not really going to try and run the ball, but if things open up, you could definitely hand the ball off around 5 to 10 times a game. If you're running this formation is ideal. You don't really want to sit here run sweep 15 times. If it's working, you can go to it, but this formation is definitely intended more to pass the football, I would say. Now, there is one weakness with this formation that I did not bring up yet, and it's going to be the blocking. The blocking is going to be pretty tough out of it, especially if they're sending 7-man pressure. If they're sending 7-man pressure, your best bet's probably just going to be to send all 5 out and make a quick read, because you cannot block this player right here, Rondale Moore. He cannot block because he's not on the ball. Some things that you may be able to do, actually, is I think there was this old glitch. I'm not sure if it's still a thing, but you could motion him over, motion him back, and then you could block him. I don't think it works anymore. It worked last year, if I am not mistaken. But yeah, it's going to be tough sledding to block, which is why in some of these setups, I might try and show you guys what it can look like if you can block that running back. A lot of times the running back is super good on routes, which is why it's a little bit unfortunate, but that's the sacrifice you make when you try to get some of these cool route combinations and cool plays. But yeah, man, outside zone, pretty good. You can do different disguises. You can motion over a wide receiver and go ahead, hand the ball off, which I don't know why I didn't motion snap, but you can open up a little cutback lane on the back end. So definitely can be a cool option for you guys with this outside zone. But yeah, not really a running formation. Let's move into the verticals play. And verticals, pretty much the same as bunch. You can run some of these same setups. Here we go with a little running back route, little out route. And there you see Christian Kirk doing his job over there. Something that I like with this verticals play that you can actually do is kind of create that nice little wheel route combination. So we can actually, if we wanted to, we could kind of run this play like this, and maybe we just flat B. So we open up two avenues with these wheel routes that we can throw. Here you see the first one, Rondale Moore, and I'll show that second one to our boy James Conner over there. But just a unique stuff, and this is stuff that you can't do out of bunch. I like to call this formation kind of a combination between bunch and bunch tight end with some of these things that you can do. But here you see James Conner. That was an early throw, and again, it is going to be a little bit tighter because you keep your bunch on that wide side of the field. If you wanted to, you could do something like this. And you notice something that's cool with this formation, when you flip, you notice how Hopkins isn't actually going to move. So he was in that bunch spot, and then just like this, if we flipped it again, AJ Green would stay in his position, which is pretty cool. But here's the flat combination on the other side, and you notice a lot more space. So it's going to be better if you do run your bunch on the short side, which usable concept this year actually out of regular bunch. So it definitely could be something that you use if you want to. So But yeah, man, kind of the same stuff out of verticals that you've really been seeing all year. Here you have the little underneath route that you can throw. Just a very good quick snap play. Now, one of these route combos that I like a lot that I don't feel like is as good out of this is going to be this little streak combo. And that's just because of the spacing with AJ Green. You really just have two routes running to the slot, so it's not as good, I would say. And that's unfortunate because that is one of my favorite red zone plays. And really just plays in general to space the field. Not really good against man coverage, but definitely is a little bit unfortunate that we cannot do that. As far as some of the other stuff, again, one of my favorite max protect plays is probably like this, where we have this little in route avenue, but maybe we run something like this, little drag, little in route if you wanted to, and this can open up again, Kirk down the field. So still can be a pretty good play. And that's going to take us to our last play, Z-Spot Shake. Z-Spot Shake is a nice little play. I like the combination to go with like a little wheel route and then usually just like a streak. So I'll just kind of run it like this. It's a pretty good combination. Again, it's just a simple read. You see combos like this out of the U-Trips formation. If you run that, you should know what I'm talking about. This play was a lot better when this formation first came out. Something else you can do with this is also smart out both of your corner routes because they are a little bit shorter. So we could smart out RB and smart out X. You have your flats we showed the wheel route. Now we'll check down Rondale Moore, which the flats are definitely going to be important in this, just like they are in regular bunch, taking your flats if they're given. But again, let's say he bags that left side, you can roll out, throw this corner out to RB, but really what this play does is it forces him to double Mabel both sides, go with a curl flat and a hard flat on the right and on the left. If he doesn't have one of those, you're going to have a guy open. And again, you rarely see double Mabel this year. You will see it occasionally on one side or the other, but never really ever on both sides. I know I never run double Mabel, so I'm assuming you guys don't, and players you're playing against do not as well. So but just a good route combination, just a basic type play. Again, generally you're going to keep this player on his corner route because that's what separates this play from normal Z-spot, but you can definitely do things like this little out route instead. I'm not sure other things you could do. You might be able to create a little like flood type concept. Let me just set that up again. If you really wanted to, you could actually do something kind of like this. So we put RB on that out route. We just put B on a hitch, put Connor on an out route, smart out at AJ Green. So this would be a pretty cool combination if you ask me. You can kind of check it down to D-Hop here. You, of course, had Connor on that left side, but just mixing up your coverage. And yeah, man, anyway, that's going to pretty much end the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see that gameplay again, but subscribe to the channel down below, drop a thumbs up as I mentioned, and peace. I'm out of here.